Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you were new. My name is Jessica Nicole and I am a self-published author of YA fantasy romance novels, and welcome to another writing vlog for Moonshot, which is my Little Red Riding Hood retelling. So basically what I have been doing consistently, I'm so proud of myself, consistently since around the 11th of the month, I have been editing a chapter and writing 1,000 words a day. So that's every single day. So I am getting caught up to the chapters I'm writing. Right now I'm writing chapter 34. I just started it this morning, and it's 9:06 right now. So I have been writing for an hour. What I'm basically doing, since I'm on Thanksgiving break, plus it's Saturday, so I'm going to write 200 words an hour for 5 hours, and that's just how I'm going to pace myself with the writing. And after I wrote my 200 words the last hour, I went and started editing chapter 19, and chapter 19 is a little spicy. Like, I like chapter 19, so I want to read you guys a little bit of chapter 19 in a minute. I'm gonna write my 200 words for the hour of 9, and then I'm going to read a little bit of chapter 19 for you guys. So okay, so mission accomplished. That's 200 more words in the books. Well, and I'm going to read some of chapter 19 now. So I guess I need to give you guys a little backstory on where we are in the novel at this point, so that it makes sense. So basically, my main characters are in this fake dating situation. They have to go through these courtship trials that are dependent on the phases of the moon. And so each phase of the moon has a specific trial associated with it. Basically, the point of the trials is for them to prove themselves to each other and their future din, which is the family of the person that they are with. It goes pack, which is the whole group of wolves that belong to that like subgroup of wolves, and then there's packs, which are like families. So it'd be like how Americans are one group, and then you've got like your specific family that you belong to. So yeah, I am going to start reading, I guess, around the very beginning of chapter 19. So the trial that they are in right now is the Moon of Loyalty. And the Moon of Loyalty is basically for the future mates to prove themselves faithful to each other. So they date other people, they go out like on dates with other people, and they're supposed to prove themselves loyal to their intended mate. So Crimson, my main character, she goes out on a date with Callum, who is basically the rival of the wolf she's pretending to fake date, the prince. She hates Callum. Basically, she despises Callum because of the way that they met. And so, but she only agrees to go out on this date because Callum is doing some sneaky stuff, and she wants to help the wolf prince that she's fake dating get to the bottom of it. So she went out on this date with Callum the night before, and then the next day things are strange. So she's sitting in like a waiting area with Laika's little sister, who is like around 15, and his mom, and those two have kind of been her guide through all of this because she's human. She doesn't understand like all the Lunara courtship things. And Lunara is my name for my wolf species. They're kind of like part fae, part werewolf situation. So okay, chapter 19. When it became more than clear that we were wasting our time, Luna Artemis stood up, determination like green fire in the depths of her eyes. Come, we must get to the bottom of this. Sage shot me a worried look I didn't understand before standing and rushing to catch up to her mother, who'd already begun to stride away. But Mother, don't you think we should just be patient and... My child, you have known me for 150 springs. When have I ever been patient? The Luna interrupted dryly. Sage sighed in defeat. Fine. But will you at least promise me that you won't make a scene like you did when you thought the second prince from the pack of the Ivory Peaks was snubbing me at the last cycle of the trials? It is not my fault the child could not handle being asked a simple question. You had started to choke him before you'd even asked it. Regardless, no one messes with my family. I will teach that lesson to anyone who may require it as many times as it is needed. With that, she strode out of the room in a flourish, leaving me and Sage to trail after her. I'm gonna scroll down a little bit. Alright, so Crimson says, "We need to find your brother," I murmured, voice full of trepidation. Without even realizing it, I had already taken a couple of steps down the opposite end of the hall in the direction of Leica's room before Sage's hand closed around mine. "Not an option," she told me quietly, as a trio of guys passed us by on their way down the hall. I recognized one of them as the guy I'd eaten lunch by the lake with the day before. He and his friends didn't so much as glance in my direction. I watched them begrudgingly dip their heads in acknowledgement to Sage as her station dictated, before practically running away from us. "What? Why?" I asked, confused. "Because whatever has got people literally running for the hills to avoid being seen with you must be a scandal of epic proportions. Scandals are like viruses around here, and rumors are contagious. Whatever the packs are saying about you will soon be said about anyone who continues associating with you. My brother is the next alpha of our pack and the leader of all five. His right to rule must remain unquestioned." I knew she hadn't meant them to, but her words stung. "Then maybe I should try to get to the bottom of things on my own. I wouldn't want to infect you with my virus," I quipped, snatching my hand back. A stricken look stole across the younger teen's face. "That's not what I meant," Sage insisted with a shake of her head. "It's what you said, and you're right. Personally, I've never cared what anyone thinks of me, but what people think affects more than just me now. Leica can't afford to get mixed up in whatever is happening, and neither can the rest of you." "Where are you going?" "To find Callum. He wants to spread rumors behind my back? Fine. Let's see if he's man enough to repeat them to my face." Fury made my footfalls light and quick as I made my way from one end of the castle to the other in search of the cause of this mess. I didn't have any luck finding Callum, but unfortunately Vlasta and her little friends found me. Accompanied by the same white-haired girl I'd seen her talking to at the announcement ceremony, and another girl with long red hair, she slithered up to me, like the snake in the grass she was. I'd been walking out of a sitting room that I'd circled in search of Callum, and was leaving when I came up empty-handed, but Vlasta stood directly in my path, giving me no choice but to stop in my tracks, or to run right into her. I had exactly no time to deal with Vlasta in that moment, so I tried to move past her, only for the redhead girl to cage me in on the other side. The third girl did the same on my left. I glowered at Vlasta. The smile she shot me in response reminded me of a predator baring its teeth to its prey. If she was trying to intimidate me with her little posse, she was going to have to try a lot harder. I had spent half the day getting glared down, whispered about, and avoided like the plague. Whatever Vlasta had come over here to say to me would just be the icing on top of a crab cake. Okay, and I'm going to scroll down a little bit more. So Crimson basically goes looking for someone who can kind of speak up for her, prove that what the rumor going around isn't true. And she's looking for this person when she bumps into Leica, the wolf prince that she is fake dating. "Sorry," I mumbled, already moving again. A hand closing around my arm brought me out of my semi-dazed state. "Wait, Crimson, where are you off to so fast?" "Leica." As soon as the realization of who I was standing there talking to hit me, I pulled away from him and took a couple of quick, clumsy steps back. I immediately scanned the hallway, and sure enough, it was packed. People were hurrying on both sides of us as they made their way into the throne room. He took another step toward me, and I instantly took one back. What's wrong? You should probably find Sage or your mom. I'm sure they figured out what's happening by now, and they can explain. You and I, we should probably keep our distance for a while. Not happening, he shot down immediately. When he saw me trying to put more space between us, he stepped forward, almost too quickly for my eyes to register the movement, and crowded me so that I had no choice but to press my back against the wall. By the time I realized what his game was, he had already brought his hands up to press against the wall on either side of me, trapping me where I stood. I quirked an eyebrow at him. Are you joking? Nope, guess I don't do distance too well. And I'm going to stop there because I don't want to give anything away. But yeah, that's parts of chapter 19. Like I said, I'm really enjoying editing this chapter so far. I've got about 2 pages left to edit in this chapter, and then I'll be done with editing chapter 19, which will get me to my chapter a day quota, and then I'm going to go back to writing. So thank y'all for listening, and yeah, hope you're excited to see where the story goes, just as excited as I am. I'm planning on putting this one out next February, so February 2023, it'll be available. Okay, so real quick, I just finished editing chapter 19, and like the last few lines, I have to read the last few lines to you guys. Like, yeah. Okay, so here we go. Leica is basically confronting Callum. Leica gave a humorless chuckle. The dark tone of it was enough to make the hairs at the nape of my neck stand on end. Not a chance. All those years at the academy and you learned absolutely nothing. But here's one lesson you better learn today if you don't want it to be your last. I tolerate your continued meddling, your tantrums over what you think should have been yours or shouldn't be mine, and your insignificant little existence, the same way I tolerate a flea on my ass. You're an annoyance to me, Callum. You're not a threat, and you never have been. That's what you're really mad about, isn't it? Like, I don't know what I was on that day, like what, like, soapbox I was on, who I was mad at or what, but like, yeah. So I had to read that. I was like, yeah, so yeah, I really like this chapter. It's, yeah, one of my favorites so far, so really like this chapter, and yeah. It's so fun to go back and look at what you wrote when you're editing. Like, it reminds you of how good your story is. Like, I really like this story. I think it's really good, and I can't wait to share it. So yeah, and it's like giving me more motivation to make the story better and to just put my best foot forward with, you know, finishing up the story strong. So okay, so it's actually the next day. It's Sunday. I accidentally wrote yesterday, and what I mean by that is, by my calculations, I do not have to write on the weekends, as long as I keep my editing up daily and I write every single weekday, 1,000 words. I do not have to write on the weekends to be able to finish the book, get it all nice and polished up and ready to go in time for February. So the plan today is I'm going to edit 2 chapters because I'm actually a chapter behind schedule with editing. I told you guys what I read yesterday was from chapter 19, but it was from chapter 18 because I'm like a day behind. And so yesterday was the 19th of February. So yeah, I just got confused with the date. But today I'm going to edit chapter 19 and 20. If you can hear them, I got roped into watching my nieces for a little bit, which is fine. They're fine. But you're probably going to hear them in a minute when I go back in there. I have the door open. I can see them from where I am. But
I'm gonna go back into the room that they are in, and I'm going to edit while I'm in there. And I thought it'd be cool to share with you guys like some of my editing mistakes and things like that, things that I don't really remember from when I started writing the book. So yeah, I thought that'd be fun. But yeah, let me get back in here and get to work.
Okay, so I'm like literally 2 pages into chapter 19, and I already found something that I forgot. So basically, to disprove what the rumor that Callum is trying to spread, she's already had like an eyewitness come up and say, you know, I saw her, but because the eyewitness is like someone of low birth, they're not. The Callum is trying to disprove her credibility, and so Crimson's denying it. The like servant is denying it, but he's still like sticking to his lie. So what the Luna, who is basically the queen, it's Alpha equivalent to king, Luna equivalent to queen. What she's basically gonna do is have a member from each pack come up and smell Crimson. So I had completely. So what she's gonna do is have a member from each pack basically come up and smell Crimson, because if what Callum is saying is true, his scent should be on her in like a mating way. Like the scent of mating is very specific, and so yeah, his scent should be there. But yeah, so they're gonna have a member of each pack come up and do that. I had completely forgotten that I've written this. I try to, when I'm writing creatures that aren't human, include characteristics from those creatures, and so wolves have a better sense of smell than humans. So I'm giving like certain things certain scents. So like, for instance, like when she cries, like I could tell that she's sad, things like that. Just so like emotions have sense, things like that. So yeah, that's just something I found that I had forgotten that I did. So how I edit, I basically copy and pasted my entire manuscript into a Google document. I write in Microsoft Word, but I copied and pasted the manuscript into a Google document, and so I'm making the changes over here, and I highlight the changes so that I can find them in my actual manuscript later and make the changes that way. So this, I just basically had my verb tense off. I write in past tense just because it's easier. I like reading in past tense better, and so I like writing in past tense better. But I had marching instead of marched, so glad I caught that, and I'm going to highlight it so that it stands out to me when I'm making edits in my actual manuscript.
Okay, I'm officially moving on to editing chapter 20. Now, what I'm gonna say is that I noticed sometimes I will just forget what I was writing. Like I will go on to like the next paragraph, and then I don't even remember what I was gonna say. So yeah, I'm noticing that a lot. I'll have to go in and finish a thought that I left half done, and my thought process was probably like, I'll just come back to it later, and then I never did. And I'm noticing a lot that I kind of forget to close my quotation marks. So I'll do the opening quotation marks, somebody will be talking, and then I just go on to the next thing. Like I forget to close my quotation marks. So yeah, noticed that. But I edited 10 chapters in October, the first 10 chapters, and then I got to November and I forgot that I was supposed to be editing this book. And so I have picked it up more in the last couple weeks to continue editing. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I just forgot that I'm supposed to edit the book, but yeah, I'm on chapter 20. Today is the 20th of November, so I'm kind of all caught up. I copied and pasted the first 30 chapters of the book into the Google document because that's what I had written at the time, 30 chapters. So yeah, by the time November is up, the idea is that I'll have all 30 of these chapters edited. I can go back in and put the edits into my official manuscript, and then I can edit the next 20 chapters, the final 20. Writing update. It's actually the next day. I am on my way to the eye doctor in a little bit here, but early this morning I just went through and edited chapter 21, so I am good for the day with my editing. All I have to do is write my 1,000 words. I feel like these 1,000 words are going to be an easy 1,000 words because we just got through a fight scene. I don't know if I said this already, but I hate writing fight scenes, and I just wrote like 2 back-to-back over the past week. So, few days, I don't know. But I just wrote 2 fight scenes back-to-back, and I hate writing fight scenes. So I'm glad those are out of the way. They're kind of necessary, though, when you're writing like YA fantasy romances. So I kind of need to get used to them. I think I'm pretty good at writing them. It's just always a struggle, and it's like takes me hours because I'm like, this sounds stupid, this doesn't make any sense. So I always go back and change things 1,000 times. But yeah, I just finished a fight scene, so I get to have like a kind of sweet moment. I have like a really sweet moment planned between my 2 main characters, so that's gonna be good. That's like my wheelhouse. That's what I like writing, so I get to do that today. And I think the 1,000 words is gonna go by really quickly. I might actually write that scene while I'm watching TV. That's how confident I am in how well I can do it and how easy it's gonna go. Because I've had this scene in my head since before I even started writing chapter 1 of the book, so I'm excited to write it too. But yeah, I just had a minute here, so I wanted to pop in and catch you guys up on where I am with the story. I'm in chapter 35. I started chapter 35 on Saturday, and so I should finish it tomorrow. So I'm gonna write and check in with you guys when I finish chapter 35, and yeah. So as it turns out, this week is actually the whole like optometrist office in our local Walmart is taking the week off because of Thanksgiving, which is totally fine. Everybody needs a Thanksgiving break, I feel like. I'm on mine, so they're on theirs, so it's completely fine. The only thing was that like I couldn't get my eyes tested to get new glasses today, which is fine. I will go some other time. But what I did manage to do was I managed to pick up a book that I'm really interested in reading, which surprises me because this is typically not my type of thing. For me to be interested in a book, it needs to have like a fantasy romance element. I read what I write, and yeah, that's just what's interesting to me. But this sounded really good, and I do have a couple of books planned that are kind of more thriller-ish. This is called The Cousins. It's by Karen M. McManus, and I read the back and I was like, this sounds really interesting. It was basically told from the points of view, I don't know, of these 3 cousins, and they barely know each other, and they've never met their grandmother because their grandmother has disinherited their parents. But one day they all get letters from their grandmother wanting them to come work on her private island type thing, private island resort type place. So, and then when they get there, weird crap starts to happen. So I just picked this up. It's not very long, and I just thought it would be like a fun read and something different to have in my little growing library. So I picked that up. It was only like $9, so I figured I didn't have anything to lose. And I also managed to write quite a bit. I wrote like 2.5 pages handwritten for chapter 35. So I'm going to type that up and finish off with the rest of the 1,000 words for the day. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and end the vlog here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see from me on this channel. I am going to be doing Vlogmas, so I'm going to do like shorter vlogs every single day in December. Hopefully I can keep up with it, and if I can keep up with it, maybe I'll discontinue it on
until, you know, the new year, maybe posting every single day. We'll see. But something fun I had planned for Vlogmas is a while back when I wrote contemporary romance, I wrote a Christmas contemporary romance that I never plan on publishing, so I might just read little bits and pieces of it every day at the end of the vlog for Vlogmas. So let me know if that's something you'd be interested in me including. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.